The United Nations Secretary General says Africa Day is a celebration of the African Union's role in creating African solutions to African challenges. In a statement, Antonio Gutteres pointed to the boundless energy and optimism of Africa's young people who are propelling the continent into a new era of sustainable development. The African Union mission to the UN observed the 56th iteration of Africa Day early in New York with a glitzy event under the theme, the Year of Refugees, Returnees and Internally Displaced Persons towards Durable Solutions.
As words of solidarity with the African Union theme for 2019 focused on finding durable solutions for those forcibly displaced on the continent. In a statement, the UN chief Antonio Gutteres praised the strong strategic partnership between his organization and the African Union, calling for both to make preventing and responding to forced displacement a core element of the Sustainable Development Agenda. He also warned that despite making a negligible contribution to climate change, Africa was already suffering some of the most dramatic and devastating consequences. The organization's number 2 echoed his sentiment for strengthening partnerships between the AU and UN.
The African Dialogue series brought us together to better understand these stories and help to write and change the narrative for the next chapter together. On Africa Day, we look forward to working even more closely with the African Union and all our partners on the continent for the benefit of Africa and our human home, the world.
The President of the General Assembly said Africa had the potential to unlock the Sustainable Development Goals for the rest of the world.
We will not succeed in achieving the 2030 agenda and in making the UN more effective, more transparent and more efficient unless we address the solidarity deficit in our international system. This was evident during my trip to Lake Chad Basin. The countries that border the lake, and indeed the entire Sahel region, are grappling with the impacts of displacement, instability and climate change that are largely the result of external actions. And yet the burden of managing these challenges has fallen to these states, even as they work hard to realize the Sustainable Development Goals.
This Caribbean Prime Minister was among the keynote speakers at the event.
Now that we have achieved freedom and independence, now that we are in control of our own affairs, it is for us to work hard and smart together in a sustainable way to improve the lot of the peoples of Africa at home and abroad. And from the Caribbean, I propose that we set up a permanent Africa, Brazil, Caribbean Commission to assist in that sustainable development which I'm talking about.
This Security Council ambassador represents one of 3 African countries currently serving 2-year terms on the UN's top decision-making body.
Gradually, we are gaining confidence as Africans on how to solve these problems, because we are making a mark in the Security Council. They always come to us and say, guys, can you lead us on these issues? And of course, we are making our modest contribution from Congo, the DRC, we are now in South Sudan dealing with the issues from Cameroon, from Somalia. We're discussing this today. 3 times Security Council met today. You can't believe it on these issues. So because we're moving somewhere, I think the better Africa is still in the offing, but we have to work very hard.
May 25th marks the 56th year since Africa Day was conceived by the then Organization of African Unity, now the African Union, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Sherman Bryceby's SABC News, New York.